John Stockton has spent his entire career waiting for this chance. Over the past 2 weeks, he has seized the moment like few others in NBA history. It was Stockton's shot that secured Utah's first ever trip to the finals, ending 17 years of frustration. But the euphoria over securing such an elusive goal was quickly dispelled in Chicago, where Michael Jordan's Bulls took a 2-game series lead, as destiny seemed to dictate that a 5th title would soon be theirs. Then last Sunday night, with Jordan on the brink of giving Chicago a nearly insurmountable 3-1 advantage in the finals, Stockton stepped into Utah's huddle and declared that there must be a way to win the game. Stockton simply took over the game's final 2.5 minutes. His enormous 3 wrested momentum away from the Bulls, cutting their lead to 2. In rapid succession, Stockton stole the ball from the game's greatest player. And then, with Utah down by a point, Stockton rebounded Jordan's miss and found Karl Malone with a pass that will never be forgotten. To be sure, there were other heroes on a night when Utah drew even in the finals. But on this one Sunday in June, John Stockton refused to let his team lose. And in the process, made it clear that the Jazz are a genuine threat to Chicago's 5th title plans. The finals are tied. Game 5 is next. Well, as we wind down in Game 5 and head to Game 6 in Chicago, guys, many questions concerning this particular group of Chicago Bulls. Win or lose this series, and for Chicago, it's their 5th finals appearance of the past 7 seasons.
Well, no matter what happens tonight, Friday, or Saturday, this is still a championship caliber team. And so why change anything? I don't think there's any question that Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Phil Jackson will be back. However, Dennis Rodman will not be.
If your motivation is money, you break it up now and you start looking. If your motivation is to keep something special going, let them play as long as they want. They're all willing to play on 1-year contracts. And I just think that this team, with the exception of Dennis Rodman, will be back primarily intact next year.
And as the 4th quarter gets underway, Brian Williams called for the foul. But still many questions concerning Phil Jackson, who has made it clear that he would accept a 1-year deal once again, although there's been so much speculation about that, and Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
Well, I think Phil Jackson wants to ride it out as long as Michael Jordan primarily is part of the Bulls, and as long as Jordan and Jackson are there, that means Scottie Pippen will be there. There's only one other coaching job open, that's the Vancouver Grizzlies, who supposedly have an offer out to Phil. I don't see him taking that under any conditions. I see him taking a year off before he does that. He'll be back in Chicago.
But still, there is the question concerning Michael Jordan. Could he be playing his final games as a member of the Chicago Bulls? We're talking win or lose here. Brian Williams tying it up with Antoine Carr. The Jazz up 74-67.
This man, Michael Jordan, is still the best player in basketball. He's on top of his game. He is so sick right now. He'd love to be lying down in a bed somewhere, and he's still playing well, although had a very quiet 3rd quarter.
Chicago's missed 7 of their last 8 shot attempts. Reach-in foul charged to Greg Foster. The Chicago Bulls have been in a 2-2 position in the NBA Finals just once during their previous 4 title runs. That was back in '92 against Portland. And they went on to beat the Blazers 4 games to 2. That was their second of 4 titles. It is 2-2 right now in this game number 5 as Michael Jordan cuts it to a 5-point Jazz lead. Game 6 coming up in Chicago on Friday here on NBC starting 9 o'clock Eastern. Game 7, if necessary, in Chicago on Sunday night. Chris Mars back on the floor. Had some good moments. Not there, though. Coming up short.
But he's willing to take shots. And right now, some of these guys from Utah are tightening up a bit. How long are you going to go with Karl Malone on the bench? He's looking up at Jerry Sloan and saying, put me in there, coach.
Malone playing with 4 fouls. So he's been sitting here at the start of the 4th quarter. Antoine Carr. And here is Chris Mars.
And that'll buy Karl Malone another 30 seconds or another minute of rest. Time and score will dictate when Karl Malone comes back in.
Chris Mars with 11 The Jazz 77 and the Bulls 71 with 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter.
You're talking about him leaving Marvin, not playing anymore. He's having the time of his life out there.
Well, we talked about that with him the other day. And I said, could you actually sit out next year? He claimed he could. Whether he's just positioning, we don't know. Jordan with the rebound. Jordan pops it down to Kukoc. Kukoc for 3. Yes.
Well, of course, this is not as much fun as baseball. No way.
The Jazz leading by 3.
Well, Tony Kukoc might as well only take 3-point shots. That's all he's made in the last 2 games for Chicago.
Barr's pass broken up. And Pippen able to come up with it on the deflection. Jordan fires for 3. Yes. And he's tied the game at 77. And he did it in casual form.
Poise, confidence, discipline, the exchange between Pippen and Jordan. Once, twice, right back. You do it, big guy. Pump fake, freezes the defense. The jumper, net. Then he staggers back to the bench, near exhaustion, ready to fall over. He's got his team tied now. Where is that bench? He gets there and sits back, and they put the ice bag on his neck. He won't even take the Gatorade.
He doesn't want to waste any energy. No high fives, no lifting water to his mouth. He is exhausted.
A heroic performance by Michael Jordan. He has played 35 minutes. He has scored 30 points. And the game is tied at 77. Karl Malone is back. Here's John Stockton. Chicago can recapture the lead. Utah has led by as many as 16. The Bulls at 1 point led by 1. Russell on Jordan. Anderson cheating over. Shot clock at 7. Jordan shooting. Yes. Chicago 79 and Utah 77.
It was his burst of speed to get to the position and set it all up, and then he just outweighted Russell facial. Where's Karl Malone?
Played by Williams. Illegal defense for the first time against the Bulls.
What if this cut across by Michael getting open, wants to really drive, but not a good enough spacing by the rest of the Chicago Bulls, but just that little shake was able to get Brian Russell on his heels. Michael just laboring to get back to that defensive end, just trying to get to the finish line.
Brian Williams poked it away. Bulls have outscored the Jazz 12-5 in this fourth quarter. Jordan with 9 of those 12 points. Kukoc coming out to help on a double. Russell for 3. Brian Russell with his third three-pointer, and Kerr and Stockton became entangled. They've had a very physical matchup these past couple of games.
John Stockton and Steve Kerr, as Kerr got his marching orders from Phil Jackson to be more physical. And that's very tough against the little John Stockton. All Kerr could do was take Stockton down.
And double technical call on Stockton and Kerr. These 2 guys go back quite some time. John Stockton played at Gonzaga, had a terrific career. That's a reaching foul. Hugh Evans with the call on Hornacek. And Steve Kerr was recruited by Gonzaga. Went out to work out at Gonzaga against John Stockton and changed his mind.
Well, Stockton,
Arizona, yes.
Stockton torched him there. Steve coming out of the Los Angeles area, Pacific Palisades. And he gets up there on the recruiting tryout trip and was embarrassed.
Jordan for 3. Kukoc will sit down and fire.
The other nice shot from Kukoc.
And then Kukoc deflected it out of bounds.
Chicago appearing to have the same problems they had in the fourth quarter of Game 4, relying so much on Michael Jordan when the other players get the opportunity, unable to deliver.
Stockton with the step to set it up for Hornacek. Post attack with the rebound. And last touch by the Bulls. It will be Utah ball. We have 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. The Jazz up by 1.
Small front line for Chicago can get beaten on the offensive glass. Brian Williams, Jordan, and Pippen are going to have to do most of the rebounding.
And the foul on Kukoc. For the Bulls, their second team foul. The Jazz also have 2.
coach, gets caught here on this screen. And when he realizes he's dead, he just grabs on, tries to pull Hornacek down. Easy call. Two-shot foul for Hornacek, one of the great free throw shooters in the history of the NBA.
How about Ostertag? 14 rebounds, 7 on the offensive glass. And the Jazz now leading 81-79. There's Greg Ostertag in his second season from Kansas, a #1 draft pick. Last year made major strides this season. And this for Hornacek. Chicago with the ball, trailing by 2. Jordan trying to slow things down. You can see him motioning over to Kukoc. Jordan with the step and lost it. Brian Williams with the recovery. And another rebound for Greg Ostertag.
An unbelievable battle underneath the hoop, Marv. Guys are just flying, flailing away. Ostertag has been the best one tonight underneath the hoop.
Malone sent the pick. And Kerr trying to draw the foul. Williams broke up the pass. Shot clock at 3. Russell from 3. And stopped him into the ring cross. They got the new 24.
Ostertag continues to do damage to Chicago on the offensive glass, keeping balls alive.
Passed on the 3 and lost it. Here comes Pippen protecting the dribble, spinning his way, and fouled by Russell. Tonight we look back at Michael Jordan's highest scoring NBA Finals game. Was Game 4 of the '93 Final Series against the Phoenix Suns. Michael Jordan with 55 points, 21 of 37 from the field. The 55 tied Rick Barry for the second most points scored in a Finals. Elgin Baylor scored 61 against the Celtics for the Lakers back in '65. In recognition of this classic moment, the Miller Brewing Company will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. To check up on the condition of Michael Jordan, let's check in with Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad?
All right, thanks, Marv. I just spoke with Chip Traynor, the Bulls trainer, and Chip says Michael's just still fatigued, totally fatigued. He doesn't know how he continues to play, but as you watch him, he is struggling and still out there trying to give it his all. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, thanks, Ahmad. During that timeout, Jerry Sloan told his team, I'm very happy with this type of effort. It's this type of effort that's going to win the game. Then he looked right at Greg Ostertag and he told him, get ready for the ball in front of the rim. He says it's coming to you because they're going to be double teaming Karl Malone the rest of the way. Marv?
All right, thank you, Jim. And Scottie Pippen to the free throw line. He's 4 of 5 at the line. 5:57 remaining in the fourth quarter. And the Bulls are down by 2. What a follow-up to what took place here on Sunday night. The Jazz beat the Bulls in a dramatic finish, 78-73. Look at the Big Four, led by Michael Jordan. The game on Sunday, the second lowest scoring game in NBA Finals history, but it will go down as a classic by virtue of that finish. Utah scoring the game's final 9 points. And we have another dazzling finish developing here. The game tied at 81. Dennis Rodman back in, playing with 5 fouls. Karl Malone playing with 4. The bad pass, but a foul is called. And the Jazz bailed out on that foul. Only 6 on the shot clock. It's called on Jordan, his 3rd.
Utah having a lot of trouble delivering the ball. Michael Jordan grabbing Brian Russell from behind. Karl Malone just 5 points and 3 boards here in the entire second half. Played by foul trouble. He's got 4.
14s with 3. Team foul. And pass. And the ball back to the Bulls.
And that scoring slack picked up by Chris Lawrence earlier and Greg Ostertag, both them with 11 points as Karl Malone scoring is down.
Jordan being played by Russell. The grip. And it will be Utah ball. Timeout situation. Chicago 4 and a 20 remaining. Utah with 3 and a 20 with 5 minutes to go. The score tied at 81. Russell to the third back. Ostertag could not get to it.
That was Jim Gray's report. You got to get the ball into Ostertag's house and Ostertag's hand in the front of the rim. As soon as I learn how to talk and think at the same time, we can move on with this game.
Rodman setting up at the high post, finding Jordan. Rebounded by Malone. Stockton barely remains standing, leading the way with 32 and a foul called. The push putting Stockton on the floor, but it's a non-shooting call. Team foul number 4 committed by Chicago.
This has been the strategy for Chicago, especially in the fourth quarter, really only in the fourth quarter, running to double-team Stockton to make him pick up his dribble and get the ball out of his hand.
Chicago's guards Steve Kerr and Ron Harper done a much better job on Stockton here tonight than they did in Game 4. Now who's going to want to shoot here for Utah?
Oh, not what he had in mind. Karl Malone went to the air and then wasn't certain whether he wanted to pass it or shoot it, and that was the end result.
You don't win the championship unless your best player delivers at the biggest moments. Karl Malone in Game 3 was huge, going to the hoop all night long. Game 4, he settled for the perimeter shot. Tonight, with everything on the line in a game the Jazz absolutely have to win, Karl Malone, 14 in the paint, 4 points on the jumpers. But again, with just 5 points in the second half, not enough.
But Karl is still not getting those opportunities at that high right elbow, top of the key area, where he can either take or fake that jump shot and then drive it hard.
The game tied at 81. And we've been tied at 81 for the last 2 minutes. And Kerr was pushed. Number 5 on Malone. He's hurt himself with some bad fouls. Remember number 3, which followed a poor shot, and then number 4 put him on the bench for a long time.
Well, you have to go out to the open man because Kerr, even though he's shooting the ball terribly from 3, you got a chance, but you can't commit a foul like that.
Karl has always been a reach-in type defensive player. Never really played above the rim on the defensive end.
Aaron Jordan's on the glass. Pippen did not convert on the rebound. Carlson to Russell on the wing. He had Stockton on the other side, but did not see him. We're down to 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the fourth. The game tied at 81. Malone played by Rodman and double team. Pippen out to the side. Picked up, recovered there. Stockton for 3. Same exact spot that he hit that enormous three-pointer in Game 4. And he just hit it with 2 on the shot clock. 3-point Jazz lead. Bulls have missed their last 6 shots. Jordan, yes. But Jazz by 1 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the fourth quarter.
All game long, Russell forces him left, and then he gives up an easy right-hander. Jordan is too good to allow him into the middle of the lane.
Malone backing Rodman. And a foul against the Bulls, and they're upset. That is number 6 on Dennis Rodman.
Well, the Chicago Bulls defense doing a good job of cutting off Ostertag on that cut to the basket when Longley goes to for the double team. Here the loose ball, the scramble, everybody diving around, and John Stockton calmly with just 1 second left on the shot clock with the huge 3, and Michael Jordan on the move, beating Russell to the right, hanging in the air, and finishing that shot off.
And then Karl Malone in the paint, the fadeaway on the arm, clearly by Dennis Rodman, forcing the shot to be short. And now Karl Malone again at the line with everything to be determined with these 2 foul shots.
On is 4 of 7 at the line. You see the stats on Rodman in 23 minutes, 7 rebounds, only 1 field goal, 2 points. He's been replaced by Tony Kukoc.
That's that lack of discipline we were talking about early in the game with Dennis Rodman when he picked up a couple of cheap fouls. If you get Karl Malone to take that fadeaway shot, you have to be happy. Just go up and challenge it. You never want to foul on that shot.
Utah with a 2-point lead. 2:25 remaining in the fourth. The chant of MVP for Karl Malone. Oh, he barely caught the left side of the rim.
Well, fading back and falling back, but he did that the other night and still made one.
Karl Malone's guarding Tony Kukoc. This is a very difficult matchup for him. Tony, incredibly smart.
Shot clock at 5, and a foul called on the Jazz. It's on Hornacek. Team foul number 5 for Utah. So both teams are now over the foul limit. And Scottie Pippen back to the line. He's 6 of 7 at the line, and he has an opportunity to tie the game. Chicago's now 18 of 26 at the line, so they will certainly have their chances as opposed to the other night.
You look at Scottie Pippen through this final series, up and down, playing with the bad foot. The heroic performance game 1, a little down, but that was all Michael Jordan in game 2. Game 3 comes back.
Good coach able to rescue.
Come back to Jordan. He's clapping for it.
Chicago trailing by 1. Just under 2 minutes remaining in the 4th. Remaining in the 4th. The Jazz with a 1-point lead. Hornacek got the step. Stockton for 3. And faced down by Russell. They get the new 24. And Stockton checking with Jerry Sloan. Utah good shape in terms of timeouts. 3 out of 20 remaining. Shot clock at 10. Here's Malone stepping back to the fadeaway. Bad shot that is handled by Pippen. There was plenty of time on the 24.
And Phil Jackson calling for a pick and roll. Obviously, Michael Jordan to be the ball handler.
Down to 50 seconds. Here's Longley with the pick. There's Jordan. Foul. Hit on a reach, and you can just look at the body language on Michael Jordan. You get the idea he's having difficulty just standing up.
But Ostertag saves the day here as the defense broke down. Karl Malone with plenty of time on the shot clock. He can beat Luke Longley. He's fading away there. He's fading on his baseline shot from down low. He's fading on his free throws. Utah needs a timeout. Jerry Sloan needs to tell Karl Malone to go to the hoop.
A look from overhead at the Delta Center, Salt Lake City, Utah. Marv Albert, Matt Dukas, Bill Walton, Bob Rashad, Jim Gray. Utah has won 23 straight at home, 10-0 at home in the playoffs. You see the timeouts remaining. Michael Jordan, playing despite flu symptoms, has been able to hang in, looking exhausted right from the opening tip. And he's headed to the line for 2 shots, 9 of 10 at the line. All the free throws in the first half. 46 and 5/10 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. And it's the Jazz 85, the Bulls 84. Jordan, an 83% free throw shooter during the season. And the game is tied at 85.
Marv, the Bulls have been here so many times. The huge games, year after year. The confidence, the poise, the determination, the discipline and organization down the stretch, all paying off right now with Jordan masterfully at the line.
Jordan able to scoop up the loose ball for the possession with 40 seconds remaining. The game tied at 85. 10 on the shot clock. Pippen backing Hornacek. Here's Jordan. Yes! Michael Jordan from straight away. He looks like he's a boxer just hanging on along the ropes, but able to hit for a 3-point Chicago lead. Beautiful feed. Ostertag cuts it to 1.
You got a foul right now. You got a foul. Karl Malone, what are you doing?
We're down to 10 seconds.
You got a foul.
As they open the floor. Longley able to put it home for Jordan free coach. 3-point Chicago lead with 6 and 2/10 seconds to go in the 4th quarter.
That's hard to believe that you can lose track of time and score as Karl Malone in there right next to Pippen. He does have 5 fouls. No excuse. Should have committed one there.
Michael Jordan playing on heart and spirit. The missed free throw here. Everybody's standing there. And then the furthest guy from the ball, Michael Jordan, comes up with it. And then he backs it out. They post up Scottie. And then for no reason, they double team Scottie down low and leaving Michael Jordan. He knocks down this 3, gives him the huge lead. And then the total exhaustion on the bench. Michael Jordan sucking air, got the back massage from Scottie Pippen. I think Chicago just fouls right here, makes it a free throw game the rest of the way.
Down to 6 and 2/10 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. Here's Here's the three-point attempt. Now Stockton trying to back it up. And we get a whistle of 2/10 of a second remaining. Now both teams are over the limit. And the foul is called on the Bulls. So Utah to the line. Foul on Pippen. And the strategy here is obvious. The Bulls up by 3. You got to hit the first and purposely miss the second and hope for the best.
And you can't score on a tip, but I was thinking Chicago would foul on the inbounds pass to give up the free throws rather than give Stockton or Hornacek or Russell a look at a three-pointer.
I think you got to come with Ostertag, the height here, to tip over the top on a miss. There's no need to have Hornacek in it.
Jeff Hornacek only 2 of 11 from the field. Have that three-point opportunity going for the tie. Both coaches making decisions now. John Stockton to the line, but only 2/10 of a second remaining.
There will be no catch and shoot follow-up. First of all, John Stockton has to make the first one to give Utah any kind of chance at all, but you can score on a tip.
Positioning at the line after this first free throw will be critical. John Stockton not able to hit, and that will do it because they're 3 points down. And now he hits the second. 2/10 of a second remaining. The inbounds, and the Chicago Bulls have defeated the Utah Jazz to take a 3-2 lead. They win it 90-88. A courageous, classic performance by the flu-ridden Michael Jordan. Last year made major strides this season. And a miss for Hornacek. Chicago with the ball, trailing by 2. Jordan trying to slow things down. You can see him motioning over to Kukoc. Jordan with the step and lost it. Ryan Williams with the return. And another rebound for Greg Ostertag.
An unbelievable battle underneath the hoop, Mark. Guys are just flying, flailing away. Ostertag has been the best one tonight underneath the hoop.
Malone set the pick. And Kerr trying to draw the foul. Williams broke up the pass. Shot clock at 3. Russell from 3. And Stockton able to ring for it. They get to 24.
Ostertag continues to do damage to Chicago on the offensive glass, keeping balls alive.
Hornacek passed on the 3 and lost it. Here comes Pippen protecting the dribble, spinning his way, and fouled by Russell. Tonight we look back at Michael Jordan's highest scoring NBA Finals game. Was Game 4 of the 93 Final Series against the Phoenix Suns. Michael Jordan with 55 points, 21 of 37 from the field. The 55 tied Rick Barry for the second most points scored in a Finals. Elgin Baylor scored 61 against the Celtics for the Lakers back in '65. In recognition of this classic moment, the Miller Brewing Company will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. To check up on the condition of Michael Jordan, let's check in with Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad?
All right, thanks, Marv. I just spoke with Chip Traynor, the Bulls trainer, and Chip says Michael's just still fatigued, totally fatigued. He doesn't know how he continues to play, but as you watch him, he is struggling and still out there trying to give it his all. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, thanks, Ahmad. During that timeout, Jerry Sloan told his team, I'm very happy with this type of effort. It's this type of effort that's going to win the game. Then he looked right at Greg Ostertag and he told him, get ready for the ball in front of the rim. He says it's coming to you because they're going to be double teaming Karl Malone the rest of the way. Mark?
All right, thank you, Jim. And Scottie Pippen to the free throw line. He's 4 of 5 at the line. 5:57 remaining in the fourth quarter. And the Bulls are down by 2. What a follow-up to what took place here on Sunday night. The Jazz beat the Bulls in a dramatic finish, 78-73. Look at the Big Four, led by Michael Jordan. The game on Sunday, the second lowest scoring game in NBA Finals history, but will go down as a classic by virtue of that finish. Utah scoring in the fourth quarter.
You're talking about him leaving, Marv, and not playing anymore? He's having the time of his life out there.
Well, we talked about that with him the other day. And I said, could you actually sit out next year? He claimed he could. Whether he's just positioning, we don't know. Jordan with the rebound. Jordan pops it down to Kukoc. Kukoc for three. Yes.
Well, of course, this is not as much fun as baseball. No way.
The Jazz leading by 3.
Well, Tony Kukoc might as well only take three-point shots. That's all he's made in the last 2 games for Chicago.
Paul's pass broken up. And Pippen able to come up with it on the deflection. Jordan fires for 3. Yes. And he's tied the game at 77. And he did it in casual form.
Poise, confidence, discipline, the exchange between Pippen and Jordan. Once, twice, right back. You do it, big guy. Pump fake, freezes the defense, the jumper, net. Then he staggers back to the bench, near exhaustion, ready to fall over. He's got his team tied now. Where is that bench? He gets there and sits back. They put the ice bag on his neck. He won't even take the Gatorade.
He doesn't want to waste any energy. No high fives, no lifting water to his mouth. He is exhausted.
A heroic performance by Michael Jordan. He has played 35 minutes. He has scored 30 points. And the game is tied.